today is a beautiful snowy day. It's the first snow in the month of December, and I think this is going to continue for some time. So just wanted to show you all that. You've probably seen this before if you watched any of our videos, but yeah, exciting times ahead for the month of December. It's going to be a white Christmas, hopefully.
Hi.
Well, okay, so the purpose of today's video is not really to show the snow. It is to talk about an important topic, a topic that a lot of you had asked a lot of questions from us about. So let's see what it is. Alright, so Christmas is right around the corner, and I thought what better time to do this than now, because I do have a little bit of time in hand, and because so many of you had asked me for this information, I thought now would be the perfect time to do it and have you all ready for the new year if you all are planning on, taking this journey that we did. So if you're watching this video, I'm assuming it's one of these reasons. One, is it because you were looking at different avenues of moving abroad, and one of the options that came up was Canada and Canadian PR, and you thought this would be a good place for you to get some information about it? Or is it two, you just wanted a change of scene, basically looking for better opportunities for work and for education for yourself and even your whole family? Or three, this video just randomly popped up on your homepage and you thought it looked interesting, so you're watching it. Or it's none of that, and I would love to know what it is that made you decide to watch this video, and let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear from you. Either way, I'm so glad you're here. Ayubowan and welcome. So since you're already about a minute or two into the video, I do hope you would be interested to subscribe to our channel, because we just moved to Canada on PR, and we thought this channel would be our outlet to share our story, our journey, and our life here in Canada with all of you. So yeah, welcome to the fam, and thanks for joining in. Okay, so let's get right into business. So before we get into the actual details and timelines and the process, I just want to share this little disclaimer with you that I am in no way an immigration consultant or an immigration specialist or an expert. I'm just sharing my story, our story, and our journey that we followed and experiences that we had along our journey. So I hope you do get a little bit of information for yourself too if you're interested and would be motivated and excited for your journeys as well. So yeah, I do hope you gather something from today's video. I will also constantly be looking at my notes, because I just don't want to miss out on any of the important details, and I just want to keep a proper track of what I'm saying, so please excuse me for that. But yeah, this is our journey, our story, and our timeline that we experienced on our journey to Canada. I just want to share a little backstory to how this entire process kind of started. So for me, I have always wanted to kind of live abroad, study abroad kind of thing, but my immediate options were Australia, New Zealand, and Canada, but also I did look at a few European countries which I felt was not the most feasible for me. But with my educational background and the career that I've been following, I felt like Canada was the most achievable and the most viable option for me, mainly because the process was so outlined and it was so clear, and you could kind of see every step of the way, and that is why I went ahead with Canada. Okay, so here is our timeline. Step 1, eligibility. So the first thing that I checked out in this process was to check the CRS Score. I will leave the link to it in the description below, and you can check it out yourself if you're interested. But what I did was I went onto the website and I checked the scores that I had at the time, and I kind of figured out how much I needed to do in IELTS in order to get a good score that would get me into the Express Entry pool and eventually the ITA. Okay, so back in mid 2018, I had just got my master's results back and I had just completed it, and then I figured that as a stepping stone I needed to do the IELTS. So what we did was we prepped ourselves, we did a few practice exams and got it together, and we sat for our IELTS in mid-December 2018, and we got that out of the way, and then we proceeded to do our WES evaluations, that is checking our educational credentials. So to whoever is familiar with this process, you all know the abbreviations that I'll be using, but I will let you all know all of that in the description too, so that you would be familiar with what I'm talking about too. We did our WES evaluations in January of 2018, and then we got our results. Actually, I got my results back in 2019 May, but some of G's documents got in a little later in June. And once we had that was when we went to step number 2, which is profile creation. So as I mentioned earlier, our CRS score at the time was 461, which was not sufficient to get an ITA, an invitation to apply. The reason behind this is because one of G's documents didn't come through, so we had to reprocess it, and that came out later. So our profile, although our profile was created in July of 2019, we did have to wait a little bit till we got the ITA, and this is the reason why. So one of his educational credentials were not assessed because it was deemed that it was not needed at the beginning, but we realized that we needed to do it. So that result came back in September 2019. September 17th of 2019, and no sooner we got that, we updated it back on our profile that was created, and we got the ITA on the 18th of September 2019. With this, we had 2 months, 60 days to submit all our documents, and that takes us to step number 3. So document submission was one of the biggest part of this entire process. It was what took us the longest time. As soon as we received the ITA, what we did was we booked our medical appointment, and we did our medical somewhere around end of October 2019. So here's a list of all the documents that we needed to submit with our ITA. First of all, there was personal documents like the birth certificate, marriage certificate, and things like that. So that was what was applicable to us. We had it all translated, and that was ready. We had to have all our educational certificates again. That was evaluated by WES, and for both myself and G. And we had to have employment records. So employment records had to be in a particular template as per IRCC standards, so we had to get them all ready for all our previous employers. Then we had to have our proof of funds documents ready, so bank statements and things like that. Then our security documents, which was basically the police clearance certificate. And then finally we also had to have all our travel records for the past 10 years. And that was pretty much an overview of all the documents that we had to have. For myself and for G, both we had it ready. So like I said, it took us about 2 months. It did actually take us a long time to get these documents ready. My advice here would be to have certain documents such as the employer letters and salary stubs and things like that from previous employers ready before you actually go and submit your profile. The thing is, it takes a little bit of time, and sometimes you don't want to delay it, so you can have it ready at hand. And other documents like bank statements also can be prepared in advance, but things that are out of your control like the police certificate, you need to have it prepared because you don't want to pass the deadline to submit your documents. And then comes step number 4, submitting the documents. So we had all our documents ready by about the first week of November, and then once these were ready, we submitted them, and we got our AOR in the middle of November 2019. And then comes step number 5, that is the biometric request. So after this, your profile is basically active and your documents have been submitted, and the next step would be for IRCC to send you the biometric request. So basically they'll send you the request, and we got our biometric request sometime around the 25th of November, and we booked our appointments with the VFS and got that done by December 10th of 2019. And now comes the best part, the waiting game. So in December 2019, things were going great. We had our expectations. Our expected timeline was supposed to be May 2020. That was when we were supposed to get our passport request and end our process there. But then comes COVID, and with that, it was all just waiting around, hoping things were gonna change in our profile, expecting updates every month. But we had no updates at all during this time. And in March 2020, everything goes into lockdown and everything is kind of paused. So the world comes to a standstill, and so does our profile. And we were just hoping that things would start taking a positive turn. But we waited and waited, and we waited for 2 years. However, we did not give up hope. Although it was really frustrating at the time, we kind of got things done that we needed to do. Like, for example, we got our driver's license renewed, both G and I, and then we had our passports renewed at the time because mine was expiring, and G anyway decided to do his as well, because if not, we would have to return and get the passports renewed and things like that. So we got all of that out of the way during this wait of the 2 years. We also wanted a little bit of updates because we were not getting anything at all at that point. So we did apply for GCMS notes, and we applied twice, but we only got results for it one time, and the second time we didn't get an update because there was such a huge backlog with the IRCC at this point, and things were not processing or things were not moving any forward. We were getting the same update every month. So that was kind of where that was for 2 years, and this is when things started to get exciting for us. The hack for the most exciting part. In January 2022, that was earlier this year, we got a remedical request, and we were super excited because that was the only update we got for that entire 2 years. And so by this time, obviously, our medicals had expired because the medicals were valid only for a year. But yeah, we booked our remedicals on the last week of Jan, and we had that going. But meanwhile, we also did request for a police certificate. Although they had not requested a police clearance certificate, we knew that police certificates were also only valid for 6 months. We had applied for it the moment we got these additional document requests, just in case if they asked for it, to have it ready, because we didn't want to delay anything. We did the medicals and submitted that as well, but again, we did not need to submit the police clearance again. And things were quiet after that for a few months again. It was just a matter of waiting to hear something back after this point. So in April 2022, we got the golden email, as we all call it, the passport request. Basically wanted us to submit our passports to the VFS, and that is exactly what we did. In April 26, 2022, we submitted the passport along with the rest of the documents that were required for passport submission. And they are the biometric receipt that we received in 2019, the passport, 2 photographs, the detail form including our name, contact details, the height, eye color, things like that, and the consent form, the CVAC form, the courier charge payment slip, and the PPR that we received from IRCC. So all of this was submitted along to the VFS. And then on the 17th of May, we received back our passports with the confirmation of PR, that is the stamped passports. And that was super duper exciting for both of us because we were getting really impatient. And no sooner we received the passports back, we went ahead and booked our tickets immediately because we had waited long enough and our patience was being tested. So the sooner we got it, the sooner we went and booked our tickets, and we proceeded and landed in Canada in July 2022. If you haven't watched that video, you can go and check it out in our channel as well. I've done a whole landing video which you can go and check out. But yeah, amidst all that chaos, we did not give up hope. We did not give up on the entire process. It tested our patience a lot, and in no way was it a smooth flowing process for us because of the pandemic and everything that happened in between. But it was definitely worth the wait, and we are so glad we are here. And that's about it for our timeline and process. If you all need to know anything in detail, you can always reach out to us. We'll be glad to support or provide information to the best of our knowledge. And yeah, like I said, do consider subscribing to our channel because we'll be sharing our life here in Canada. And thank you so much for watching. We will see you soon with another video. So till then, take care and stay safe, and wish you a Merry Christmas.